Hello, welcome back to A Boring Revolution, your number one news source for everything in regards to the Boring Company. Today's episode, we're going to focus on the expansion in Las Vegas, this Phase 2 expansion from the Las Vegas Convention Center. And it looks like we're going to be linking up with two new casinos, and possibly in the future, there may be a Phase 3 and a Phase 4 expansion further down to the Strip, linking up to the airport as well. But at this moment in time, we essentially have two new clients who are very interested in the services of the Boring Company, and that is really, really fantastic news because this idea is now becoming mainstream. People are starting to believe in what the Boring Company can achieve with its current resources, and those resources are only going to grow as we build more projects and scale up this system in Las Vegas and the one in California. So here is the initial expansion that was proposed. So we're going from nearby Station 2, just south of the underground station there, going to the Wynn Casino, which is here. However, this has now been expanded. We have Resorts World as well. So we have Wynn Casino on South Las Vegas Boulevard and Resorts World on South Las Vegas Boulevard. They're right next to each other. Resorts World is possibly going to be one of the best hotels in Las Vegas. Very, very beautiful setup there based on the renders that I've been looking at, and that will be an excellent potential future partner for ourselves. So here we are. Here's the monorail. Up here is where the existing Station 2 is. So we're going to have a new station here. Probably will be an above ground station. That has yet to be determined. I'm unsure exactly where on the car park it be. It might be further north. It might be up here. But obviously that will be determined in good time. It goes across here, underneath East Desert Inn Road. Then it follows parallel to the road underneath the golf course here and up to the Wynn Hotel and Casino. This station potentially could be above ground, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be underground. Again, yet to be determined. It will obviously depend on what the client wishes to have at the front of the hotel. If this is the front, I'm not actually sure. That it could be around here. But obviously it needs to be aesthetically pleasing if it is adjacent to the main building. And here is Resorts World. So this is a new hotel that is under construction in Las Vegas. It looks like it's going to be open in about 1 year's time, maybe slightly more. Again, I'm unsure where exactly this station will be. I'm imagining it will be an above ground station. Unsure whether it might be better putting the station on this side, but just to be sure we get the distances right on this one, I have placed the station over here on South Sammy Davis Jr. Drive. How long is this potential tunnel? So it's in the region of around 1.82 to 1.86 kilometers. So it's quite a bit bigger than, not quite a bit bigger, but certainly a fair bit bigger than the tunnel that we're currently under construction in Las Vegas. That's good. That's a good progression from where we are now. It certainly gives the system scale. And it's linking up to casinos that are near to the convention center. Obviously, people stay in these casinos prior to going to the convention center for whatever convention is on or conference. So the fact that those are linking up is good because that's an obvious path of people in Las Vegas. And then obviously, potentially, we could end up going down South Las Vegas Boulevard down here, further down into the Strip. And obviously there's various casinos down here, Treasure Island and a couple of others as well. So This is very important for the Boring Company, because if people are now becoming interested and they can see what we've already built, that potentially could lead to a massive network of tunnels across the entire Las Vegas main strip. And what that scale gives us is it gives the Boring Company the ability to move people throughout Las Vegas, and therefore they've got the advantage in terms of speed and efficiency of moving people around. But that will require quite a long tunnel linking the airport and the convention centre, and I'm assuming that that's going to take place in the next maybe 2 to 4 years. However, I will need to negotiate with each of the hotels as they move further down the strip. If one hotel in particular decides that it doesn't want a loop connection, or it doesn't want to negotiate the terms that the Boring Company are stipulating, then potentially that could halt the progress of the scheme at that hotel. But I'm thinking that it's in everyone's best interests to run tunnels underneath the strip. It makes it more efficient for people to get around, and obviously the Boring Company can make money from it, and the casinos and the convention centre. So there's no real reason why you would want to rebel against these kind of schemes. So what are we building here? These are all assumptions. It's very, very likely that these will change a little bit, maybe quite considerably. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait for the contract documents to come out. So one thing I know for absolute certain is this is going to be a dual bore tunnel, and it's going to be 14 foot in diameter. I don't anticipate them changing those things. They're going to use the same TBM they used for the Las Vegas Convention Center. They're only going to use one TBM, which is a bit of a shame. Again, I would have liked them to have used the new Proof Rock machine that they have been testing in Las Vegas. Hopefully that may come online in California, but I guess we'll find out in the near future. In terms of length, this is probably the one that could change the most. It's around 1,850 meters. It potentially could be 1,500 meters if they went to the other side of the Resorts World, but I'm anticipating that they're going to go 1,850 meters. You've got 2 tunnels, so that's 3,700 meters. Then we have the conversion into miles, or 2.29 miles approximately. In terms of stations, I think there possibly will be 2 above ground and 1 below ground. Or that potentially could change. It could be 1 above ground and 2 below ground. Potentially there could be another extension with a tunnel going from near to Station 2 to actually linking up with Station 1 at some point. That's around 650, 800 meters or so. I think it would make a lot of sense to do that now rather than wait for this project to be completed, because then you've got an entire L-shaped tunnel rather than having 2 separate tunnels. It makes things a bit more integrated, doesn't it? So cost estimates, I'll come to how I've come to these numbers in a short while, but it's 9.85 million per mile times 2.29 miles, so 22.557 million. Stations, I'm going for 2 above ground and 1 below ground, so I'm getting around 15.75 million. I think that's a bit high, but I'd rather come in high than too low. In terms of vehicles, to serve this extra strip of the loop, I'm thinking they need in and around 65 AVs, autonomous electric vehicles, each with a cost of $75,000. So altogether that is 4.87 million. So the sum total of all that would be 43.182. Now obviously there's other things on top of that, your insurances, retention, that sort of thing. So it could be in the region of around 46 million once you take that into consideration. In terms of costs, this was the cost breakdown for the Las Vegas Convention Center. I'm assuming that this is accurate. Again, we shouldn't make assumptions, but this is what I have right now. I know that the project costs have increased for the Boring Company in Las Vegas, so it might be that it's costing around 10.5 million per mile of tunnel. I'm not too sure. I'm not actually sure what the stations are going to look like at these casinos, hotels, so it's very difficult to estimate exactly how much that's going to cost. So, what's our summary for this project? This is a very, very exciting development. If you are a believer in Tesla or SpaceX or the Boring Company, you should be very, very excited by what's going on here, because the concept has essentially been proven. We know that it's going to work in terms of constructing it. In terms of running the actual system, that's yet to be proven, but I'm pretty confident that with all the expertise at Tesla and SpaceX and the Boring Company, that they can figure things out. Our success, or the success of the Boring Company, has been noticed by other people. Those other people include the casinos on the main strip in Las Vegas. They're obviously thinking, this is a potentially very good way to bring in new customers to their hotels for gambling, maybe for a day out in Las Vegas. So this is like a snowball effect. What will happen is, once we knock these 2 casinos off, maybe another 3 will come on board, maybe another 5 will come on board. Maybe the airport will say, you know what, we need a link to the Loop and to the convention center. So snowball effect. It's going to lead to more contracts, potentially a phase 3 and a phase 4. So this is exceptionally good news for everyone associated with the Boring Company. The most important thing that I will mention during this video: scale equals efficiency. No mass transit system works unless it has scale. So if you've only got a couple of miles of tunnel, it's not really going to work too well, because you're not really connecting up many places. As soon as you start connecting up multiple hotels, the convention center, maybe even the stadium, the airport, that scale equals efficiency, because you can throw more vehicles in the system, you can move more passengers per hour, you can run that system 24/7. It equals big money the more tunnels you can add to that system, to that network. And it's like a self-replicating effect, really. And that's what the Boring Company should be aiming for, is to keep expanding this system. Keep expanding it by around 2 to 3 miles every year, up until the point where we've connected up all the casinos and all the major landmarks in and around Las Vegas. It's the perfect size second project for Las Vegas. So it's just a little bit bigger than the current project that they're due to complete at the end of this year, so around the 29th of December. So there's a natural progression from that project into this project. They can use the same contractors, can use the same TBM. They can probably use a lot of the same equipment as well that they've stacked up on site. And therefore, there's going to be economies of scale in building this second project, but it's also not going to be stupidly big that it causes problems. It's just that little bit bigger than the current scheme. So the next stop will likely be Caesars Palace Casino. That is my prediction. It's just further down the strip, around about 1.1 miles away, around about. So it's a perfect kind of distance to further progress this particular project. Okay, that is the end, guys. Thank you for everyone who's joined us today. Thank you to all my Patreons for continuing to support the channel. Thank you very much for everyone who joins us regularly on Discord or Twitter, and whoever comments on the YouTube comments below. Thank you, everyone, and remember, don't be boring, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you, everyone, and stay safe.